I keep hearing tonight's the night with this I'm in love with you energy. So it feels like this person has been planning something very special for a while. They've got the spot picked out where they want to meet up with you, take you, kind of arrive to you, even in terms of, like conversation between the two of you when they are able then to open up about these deep feelings. This is somebody that has been very quietly kind of sitting on some deep emotions, making very sure within themselves that they are prepared for what comes next in this connection and in this situation. This person has reached the conclusion that you are the person that they want to build with, romantically speaking. For some of you, this is the energy of somebody that is like, I think I found the one. And since I know, why waste any more time kind of observing or weighing the pros and cons? This is somebody that is very satisfied so far with what you have shown them in terms of authenticity, in terms of loyalty, in terms of trust in them, and also allowing them to establish a rapport and trust with you. This is something that on a practical level, you have checked off all the boxes that they had created for themselves in terms of like what they needed to experience and to know for certain in the aftermath of previous heartbreaks where maybe things had moved very quickly, or they hadn't listened to logic. They hadn't kind of, done things the smart way. They had just been very impulsive. They listened to their heart in the past. They had overlooked red flags and ended up in circumstances that, created some woundedness and some brokenness that they needed to heal from. So it's like you've encountered this person at a more cautious time in their life. And so the time that they have taken so far in order to kind of vet the situation out, kind of test the situation almost consciously, or for a lot of people it feels like very unconsciously, like they've pumped the brakes in this circumstance, not because it was like you were presenting as anything shady, but just kind of like something within them that's like, if I am taking the leap of faith forward into love again or into deep partnerships again, I need to be really certain that I am moving in a direction that is good for my highest good, that we are two people who are really compatible with one another, that this isn't something that I'm getting in over my head, or, following my heart in a direction that's just going to lead to a lot of disappointment and misery. So far, whatever has kind of occurred between the two of you, this person is like very assured that they have made the right choice in taking a chance on this situation and pursuing you and opening up to you and getting to know you. The tone and the pace that they have set of this connection so far, even like deliberate steps back that they have taken in order to see kind of like, okay, so it's great when it's hot and heavy. What happens when things cool off? What happens when I'm distracted? What happens when I'm not kind of giving as enthusiastically to this situation? Are you still going to show up? Are you still going to be here? Are you going to respond with boundaries of your own? And it feels like if you have done that, like if this person's taken a step back and so you've taken a step back, that's been the right answer in this situation. That you didn't chase them. It's not something where you've also punished them, extraordinarily for kind of like taking a step back and then coming towards you again. That this is something that they see, that you're a person who has a really good sense of self. You got your own thing going on. You have enough self-respect to only pour into cups and relationships that are serving you in a reciprocal way. And so it feels like this is something that it feels like has unlocked a door of satisfaction within them. That this isn't just a connection that can burn like hot and heavy and then leave them worse for wear, but that this circumstance is something that like it's whetting their curiosity as far as like, okay, what happens next here in this circumstance? Everything is aligning. Everything feels really good. Everything is kind of like showing up as I feel that it should, or as I have suspected that it could in this situation. And so now this is somebody that is kind of like giving their heart free range in order to kind of lead the way in this next chapter, this next experience. And so that can involve opening up about more things in an emotional way, or, even finally saying those words that I love you. And not just having that be casual and kind of like, okay, I just blurted that out and maybe I wasn't ready for it, but it feels like this next kind of like show of affection, or proclaiming those loving feelings for the first time, this is something that this person wants to do that very conscientiously. They have the moment sort of picked out and choreographed. We have I want to hold you. So this is somebody that wants to take steps closer to you. They want to clear up any misunderstandings that might have happened between the two of you. If there has been a part of them, like the wounded warrior within, that was like, I need to move a little bit differently in this circumstance than I have in previous circumstances, so that I have the best chance or the best odds of having a different result than I had in circumstances in my past where I'd been very impulsive, I'd moved very quickly and didn't take the time to like get to know someone, didn't take the time to check in with myself to see if I was ready for all the progress that was happening. And so far, like this dance that you've been doing with one another that may have been awkward at times, but then it also feels like is something that you were so synchronized, you're so in alignment with one another, that this person is definitely relaxed into the idea of like, okay, it's you and me. Okay, you're the person that is the center of my attention. You have my full and undivided attention. And so let me kind of showcase to you certain things that were behind the curtain that I was kind of hiding away. I was saving parts of myself, or like what I'm capable of as far as love and romance is concerned, until I really made sure that, like, yeah, giving of myself in that way, showing up in that way in a connection, that this wasn't just going to be something that like left me high and dry, or burned me or broke me, that this is a circumstance that my heart is leading me in the direction of a safe person. So you have really again, you've like tamed some aspect in their shadow, because it doesn't feel like this is anyone that was like plotting and planning and like, okay, I'm gonna just sort of lead this person on and kind of keep them at a distance, and if they tolerate that, if they put up with that, if they're submissive enough to that, and kind of don't give me any sort of pushback, then that's what I'm going for. This is something where it's almost like this person sort of like had the intention before they met you of like, when love knocks on my door again, when I feel attracted to someone again, when I get that urge to open up and get to know someone, I need to do things differently than I've done before if I want like a chance of experiencing other results than what I know hasn't worked based on how I am or what I've done in the past. And so this person has taken that very kind of like measured, logical approach to the situation, while also being very cognizant of the chemistry between the two of you, and trying as best as they can to kind of make space for things to develop very naturally. But this is somebody that knows they were almost kind of like having some control issues, or trying to control the outcome or the circumstances between the two of you. And there's been a part of you that even if you have again, kind of given those healthy boundaries, you sort of given this person a taste of their own medicine, you didn't play into these games, or was something that you didn't kind of like let that get you down. You just sort of took that in stride and adjusted your kind of momentum towards them accordingly. Something within that has made almost like a wounded part of them, like wounds within the shadow, kind of like almost fears of abandonment is what this sort of feels like somebody that is afraid of opening up and getting very attached to others romantically, only to be kind of like discarded or disappointed in ways that it's like, oh, I should have seen that coming. If I'd taken a little bit longer, if I'd listened to my logic and not just let kind of my stupid heart do all the thinking, then I wouldn't have ended up in that circumstance. Like that's the mindset that they may have been in, perhaps even for very good reasons based on like their romantic track record when you encountered them. And so this is something that you didn't know this, but you were almost like taming a beast within them, this like hyper vigilant, super protective part of them that is like, I want love and partnership, but I'm unwilling to lose myself in the process of that. I want love and partnership, but I know my tendency to kind of just settle for the first thing that comes in, or to make excuses for other people's toxicity, or to, overlook kind of red flags or when my own needs aren't being met. And so this is somebody that feels like you have kind of like gone with the flow of something that hasn't been like an outwardly stated sort of plan of action, in terms of just their love life in general, which has kind of like de-escalated some kind of like energy of almost like hypervigilance, like someone that's been living on survival mode, emotionally speaking, for a very long time. You've helped them relax into this kind of like knowing within, like their heart has been very patient in terms of letting like their logic or this protective part of themselves kind of run the show, or have that say very early on, kind of like early challenges within this circumstance. Not that this is a difficult person or they're trying to give you like a hard time or a difficult experience in love, but this is just somebody that's like, in order to honor my journey and the wounds that I've sustained and all of the work that I've done to heal, or just kind of like move on with my life after certain experiences, I need to take a different route and approach. I like you. I've liked you for a while. I've wanted this for a while, but I've needed to take things very slow. And so the fact that this is something that like you're here at this stage with one another right now, there is some kind of permission that they are giving themselves to open up to, kind of letting the heart take the lead, open up to, kind of tenderness with you, open up more to trusting that what you are showing to them, isn't just something that's like a manipulation tactic. You're not just trying to like, get to that soft spot inside of them in order to use them or hurt them. They're trusting that kind of like, okay, you're showing up for them, you're liking them, things are really going well, and they're trusting that it's like you're not just going to change your mind abruptly one day or abandon them further down the road. So without knowing it, you've kind of like, you've been holding this person's hand as they've been moving beyond trust issues inside of themselves. And so this is somebody that it feels like is now ready to kind of showcase a different side of themselves in this connection, something that is more emotional, something that is more heart-based, as opposed to kind of like, okay, there's this whole checklist of things, timelines, and kind of experiences that need to be had, hoops that have to be sort of jumped through, that might not have even been sort of consciously put in place for them and for you, in order for their body to relax into this, in order for their mind to be fully on board with, it's like, yeah, this is an opportunity here, this is happening, this is the time, this is the connection, this is the beginnings of love. So if I want to kiss you. So yeah, if they have kind of, created any sort of miscommunication, or you don't know where you stand with this person, they want to come in with that like Six of Cups energy. They want to kiss and make up. This is somebody that wants to take the next steps towards you in a softer energy. Like they want to present themselves with kind of both hands in front of them, palms up, so that you see that it's like, I don't have anything to hide. This is somebody that might even want to really be vulnerable with you and sort of explain, like, I know that I've been very inconsistent. I know I've been very hard to read. I know that I've given you mixed signals, or I know that I haven't been kind of like doing the best by this connection. And it's not to make excuses, but it's almost like to provide you with some kind of explanation. Like, I like you a lot. These feelings came on very suddenly. Even if this is somebody that like pursued you first, it feels like there was some mechanism within them that kind of clicked into place where it's like, okay, they pursued you, you were receptive, and so then they switched into this whole mode of, it's like, okay, before I allow, the conscious me allows my emotional self to kind of rule the roost in this circumstance and call all the shots, I got to make sure that I'm not stumbling into the same traps that it was so hard to escape before. I got to make sure absolutely that this circumstance is different than things which kind of left me worse for wear, or were very kind of, would have been obvious red flags if I'd been paying attention. Or even things were in the process of healing. They learned about things that until they had experienced them, they had no idea about. This could have been somebody that dealt with like narcissists in the past, and until they had dealt with one or like survived the experience of one, they didn't even know what that word meant. They didn't even know kind of what all was involved with an experience like that. And so this is somebody that comes to you, it feels like, with a high degree of emotional intelligence. If they've been holding back up to this point in time, and you're sort of like, I don't know, they're presenting as just like wishy-washy, they don't know what they want, they're not like giving me clear or direct indicators of their interest, or I'm getting mixed signals, it feels like this person, whenever they are getting ready to kind of like showcase to you, it's really going to surprise you, like, wow, this is a very evolved person, and they got that way learning things the hard way, or this is somebody that has put a lot of importance upon kind of becoming better as opposed to embittered in the aftermath of like other romances that failed in the past. And so this is something where you've earned this person's trust. Moreover, you have like, their shadow trusts you, which it feels like was the big gatekeeper in this, like a self-protective energy. as much as they've desired you, as much as they've been attracted to you, as much as they've wanted this, there's a part of them that is like, you've come too far in your life just to tumble back into the same pits that it was so hard to crawl out of before. And so this is something where, without even knowing it, you have passed a series of tests within this person. And so it's not just kind of like, okay, you've satisfied this sort of like need for safety within me, so now you get the good stuff, now you get the good parts of me. But this is somebody that like knows, or in hindsight is seeing kind of how this has all played out so far. And so this is like, I want to come towards you with tenderness, but I know that I also owe you kind of like a direct explanation of my intentions. If you're still interested, if you still want to continue forth with me, I know that I have to be clear about certain things, my motives, experiences in the past, or, you know, even just kind of the journey that I've been on to evolve into this version of myself emotionally and actually, so that you see, as I'm coming towards you with the intention of more consistency, more depth, more intimacy, more romance, more clarity, more consistency, that this isn't, you know, something that I'm just gonna, you know, pull the rug out from under you. Because there's also like a fear within this person, if they don't kind of like change how they've approached you up to this point. It's like, I don't want to become like those people that hurt me in the past. I don't want to like be that individual in this person, in you, the viewer's life, that like gets your hopes up and then kind of flakes out, or you know, kind of shows up and then dips out of the situation. So they're very cautious of that too. This is somebody that, as much as they were kind of trying to control the outcome in the situation, they also are evolved enough within themselves. They know how to like wrangle that beast within. They know what their shadow is capable of. They understand the things that they've been through, that it's created certain wounds. They're very kind of alert towards tendencies to self-sabotage. And so there's a sense of almost like, I want to kiss and make up, but I also want to make sure that there's a lot of transparency between the two of us going forward, so that you see that kind of like, I'm not coming in to sort of mess around. I'm coming in with very serious intention, so that you see, when I'm taking these steps towards you and I'm opening up, it's not just to waste your time. It's because I'm comfortable enough with how you've been showing up and what the experience has been between us. Or it might have even been somebody that needed to take some time to reflect, some quiet time, you know, kind of like to go within. And so it's like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to experience the fullness of this. My mind is satisfied that everything feels good, everything feels right. You are who you say you are, and we're having this connection between the two of us, as it is or as it has been. So now I'm giving my heart permission to kind of do its thing. And it feels like this next experience with this person, there's going to be a lot more romance, a lot more that is going to help to kind of like give you reassurances that whatever sort of their behavior or however they were showing up before, that there was like a reason for that. But this isn't just something that's like, you have to learn to tolerate that about this person. It was almost just a gatekeeper for them to be able to allow themselves to open up emotionally and welcome someone else into their heart space. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.